How's it going, everyone? Welcome to the Pan Geekery Podcast, a weekly live video podcast celebrating all things geek from an all-diverse perspective. And we're going to be talking about TV, film, video games, and all the cool things that you're doing during the quarantine. Hi, my name is Earl Balon. I'm an actor improviser based in Los Angeles, California. And my favorite flavor of top ramen is chicken.
Hi, everybody. I'm Jennifer Zhang. I'm an actor, writer, doer of art things and immersive theater. And my favorite type of instant noodle is jjajangmyeon.
Jjajangmyeon.
Hey guys, my name is Kaylin Faye. I'm an actor, singer, writer, and director. And my favorite type of noodle is mee goreng.
Nice.
Yes.
All right. Hey guys, my name is Walter. I'm an editor and shooter. And my favorite ramen is, those the Filipino pancit.
Oh, like
pancit. I don't know the brand name. It's like Lucky Brand or something like that.
Mamacita or something.
Yeah, then it tastes like calamansi seasoned, like with tons of MSG in the packet. Yeah,
sounds about right.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Well, everybody, thank you for being here. Thank you to everybody in the chat. Hello. Thank you, everybody, for the follows already. Y'all are awesome. I just want to say that we do have a special guest today, Rachel Jean Seeley. We are going to have her on in a little bit, but first we're going to go through a few things. For example, we're going to talk about everybody's already liking and subscribing and all that stuff right now. I just want to say please continue doing that. We appreciate it very much. Know that if you do have a Twitch Prime account, throwing us a sub is free for you, but Amazon it does Prime? Give us a little bit kickback.
Means sorry, so what was much
that?
To us.
You said Twitch Prime. You mean the Amazon Prime?
Sorry,
right?
Amazon Prime. Well, they're the same thing-ish, but if you have Amazon Prime, you get Twitch Prime, and
gotcha.
If you do this, if you throw us a sub, it's free, but it still gives us a kickback. So please do that, and do check out our affiliate links at the bottom. As you can see, we are still social distancing like a motherfucker, but we're trying to all get through it. But what we're talking about today is first of all, we're going to have our guest Rachel. She's going to be on, and then we are going to be talking about Castlevania on Netflix through season 3, episode 2. All of us have gotten up to that point, so we're going to be talking about that. We're going to talk about this Final Fantasy VII remake because that just dropped, and then we're going to talk about the first game you ever fell in love playing. So how's everybody doing today? How is everybody doing?
Doing all right. Can't wait to talk about Final Fantasy VII because, got a start on that, and I am just floored by how beautiful Tifa is. So
I'm so jealous, honestly. I wish I had a PS4.
I've been doing all right. Just been busy. This being quarantine. I don't like saying that word, but just staying at home. I've actually been finding it very comforting in a sense of being able to organize my home or my apartment, being able to clean
That's
house.
One of us.
Spring cleaning. And I just find it funny too, because the memes, people are losing their minds during this self-isolation, and then there's the memes where the people who has been to prison or been deployed
first time,
just it's first time.
Whatever, I guess.
It's to me, it's almost the same. There's been there, done that.
Oh man.
Or people, I'm sure Navy guys and ships Rodney being in a ship or
editors, film editors, right? Yeah.
Well, their world
AJ.
just never changes.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
How about you, Caitlin?
My mind is full of thoughts. THOUGHT, not thoughts, but
thoughts.
I wouldn't judge you if your mind was full of thoughts.
I mean, I know you wouldn't judge me, but I just want to be clear. There's thoughts and then there's thoughts. Last night I attended my first virtual birthday party that Walter was at. We had a mutual
I was invited
friend
to something. Yeah,
I know, right? I was like, people care about Walter. No, so we were invited to a mutual birthday party that happened entirely online, and we started playing this drinking game called 10 Fingers. You guys know that game?
Well, we changed it to 5.
Well, we changed it to 5 because people are drunk.
And it takes too long.
Let's just say I found out some things about, Walter.
Oh.
I didn't find anything new with Kaylin because all that stuff she already tells us.
She wears her heart on her.
What's funny is like whenever a guy would say something, it was like a thing he was bragging about. But when a girl would say, "Never,"
no, not
it was
guys.
like a confession.
It was one dude.
Whatever, man.
I wasn't in on that.
I'm kidding. Walter didn't do anything scandalous. I'm just trying to embarrass him.
It's just that one. That was funny though because he was like, "Never have I ever," and then he
Like
puts his
sucked.
own finger down. And I was like, and I noticed it because I just happened to be, I just happened to be on his screen, and I was just like, wait, did you just put your finger down for that, bro? Like, and it was for something kind of like.
Anyways,
yeah.
What are you there?
Moving on. That's it. That's all.
Jen?
That's all of us.
Jen?
I went first.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
You did? Oh, you did.
Good.
I'm so sorry.
Earl's like, that wasn't eventful enough. Tell me more.
Yeah, tell me more.
Because like,
I
what
just
am I?
want to get to the meat of it, man. I'm ready.
Oh, you did? Yeah, it was Final Fantasy VII. I don't know what I did this week. Everything.
That's a good week then, huh?
Oh, I did. I mean, I did some music again. I played. Oh, that's what I did. I started playing this game called The Stanley Parable a couple of days ago, and it's
oh
all
my
over game.
god!
But man,
That's a good one.
That game is a mindfuck. I mean, it's totally worth playing, and it's probably really cheap on Steam right now. If anybody's like, if you if you have like 3 or 4 hours to kill, because you're going to spend that long, even though the game is like 15 minutes, you're going to spend like that long exploring. So
it's what Choose Your Own Adventures wishes they could be.
Ooh.
Right. It's like a digitally assisted Choose Your Own Adventures. It's absolutely great.
That's like self-aware and meta narrative.
Right.
Wow.
I wish I had like hopped on it earlier. It's been sitting in my Steam backlog for like 3-4 years, so I finally did it. But yep, that's what I've been doing. So let's get straight into our into the meat of our show. I'm going to introduce our guest for today, Rachel Jean Seeley. What's up?
Hi.
Hey.
Welcome to the show.
Hi guys. Thanks for having me in. Hello.
Yay.
Yay.
So Rachel, would you like to introduce yourself? What it is you do and all that good stuff?
I am Rachel Seeley. I am a D&D gamer, all-around nerd, actor. And my favorite flavor of ramen is creamy chicken.
What?
Hells yeah.
So hard to find.
Yes.
Yeah, I've never had it. That's crazy.
So good. Ooh.
Have you ever melted cheese on your ramen? Sorry.
No, I haven't.
Not done that.
I have not done that.
Melt cheese. Melt some American cheese on your ramen.
Oh, that sounds so Canadian for some reason.
Very good.
Have you heard about like cheese on apple pie? That's what's like.
Oh, that's very Canadian.
What? Cheese on apple pie.
Yeah, I don't know who does that, but somebody told me about it. Anyway, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Rachel, we can find you featured on Geek and Sundry, right? What show are you a part of, and like, what do you do in that show?
Oh, there's several. It's not running anymore, but there's Knights of Everflame, which is a Pathfinder. They made me a mug.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Oh, cool.
It was a Pathfinder show, and you can still find it there.
Sexy.
Oh, there's a bunch. There's Tales from the Loop. There's one of the Critical Role shows, like one of the anniversary shows. I'm all over. If you jump into one of the, I was on Weave too. I just keep remembering after the fact. You jump in.
Are these mostly like D&D related, or?
Some of them are. They're all tabletops. That's pretty much what Geek and Sundry shows were. Tales from the Loop is like a D6 system. It's not strictly D&D.
Like Fate or like
Fate, yeah.
It was a Fate system. Cool.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
That's so great.
So you play Pathfinder, which is pretty awesome, just because that was like my reintroduction into D&D back then.
Pathfinder's like way advanced. There's a lot to take in.
There's so much. There's a lot of rules.
So much. And there's a lot that during the show I completely forgot, but it's a good time.
So tell me, like, what were the beginnings of your tabletop kind of career? Like, what started you with tabletop?
Well, I've personally played a lot of tabletop games because I'm a big nerd, and I have been since I was a child. So anything that's fantasy drew me in. I was here for the unicorns, man. I started off, my main group is a D&D group called Girls Guts Glory. Play it with all of my friends, and we started filming just for shits and giggles, and then Wizards of the Coast saw it and they were like, hey,
That's awesome.
buddy. And they kind of pulled us in. They were I love everyone over there. They've been absolutely amazing, pulling us in and making us feel supported and loved. So that was my main big leap into that community. It's a very nice, tight-knit community, but once you're in, you're in.
Nice. How long have you been playing like D&D? Like, what was your first tabletop?
My
RPG?
first tabletop. I played Pathfinder when I was young, and a lot of it went right over my head.
Right.
So didn't play that very often. I played D&D in college, but I didn't find the right group.
Mhm.
And then, oh gosh, how long has it been? It's been like 5 years, maybe? 4 for Girls Gets Glory.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah, it's been a while since we've been together.
And has your character stayed alive during all this time?
Well,
Have you?
so we had to take a hiatus from our main character storyline because we needed a studio, and we wanted to complete this storyline with a studio because it's just different being in person. So I had Moira, my human paladin, and the end of our last series, I don't want to spoil it. Something
It's already going
happened.
empty.
Yeah, it's too late.
Too late. Okay. She got possessed
Oh no.
by something. I'm not going to spoil what it is because we haven't actually delved into that. She tried to kill her party mates.
Right.
It wasn't her. Yeah. It happened in a flash too. So
TPK.
it was an almost TPK. I was doing real good. I went from like level 7 to level 20 immediately, and
No
I got
way.
all this stuff. It was so cool. The fact that they beat me down was they
Right.
did a really good job. So basically, it ends with my party member's god sent an angel or some kind
Nice.
of
Good Davin.
companion to help out the party. And the last thing you see at the end of that season is my character Moira laid out and a demon just about to smash her in the face with a mace. So
Oh my god.
Oh, wow.
yeah,
Wow.
that's a
That
real
is
cliffhanger, and we're gonna get back to that
Hashtag
Right.
action.
That's
eventually.
great.
Yeah.
So you've taken a character all the way from 1 to 20, which is a feat.
Kind of. Because the only reason that she was level 20 is because she got possessed, and
Right.
what possessed her, like, gave her all the boons and all these things because it
Right.
was like a vessel of a god, essentially.
Got it.
So you became the Phoenix,
Avatar.
really.
Yes,
You became the
she
Phoenix.
became Jean Grey.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Rachel Jean Seeley. There we go.
Rachel Jean
Ooh.
Grey Seeley. You'd be surprised.
Heard it
I've
here
gotten
first.
that nickname before.
Oh, okay.
I like
because of the middle
I like
name.
it.
Amazing. For those of us who don't know exactly how Pathfinder is like different from D&D or how exactly they're related, can you help like explain
Yeah.
that for
Yeah.
us?
I had to figure that out the hard way. So D&D has gone through a series of editions. Right now they're on 5th
5,
edition.
yeah.
And 5th edition is, I think, probably the easiest one to get into.
Mhm.
It's been streamlined a lot. There's just a ton to get into, but it's not overwhelming. Pathfinder is sort of a more advanced. It's where you go if you want a lot more to read.
The next level.
Yeah, it's kind of the next
There's a
level.
lot more numbers.
A
What?
lot more numbers, and you end up
Yeah.
whereas in D&D you do like 20 points of damage, and that's pretty good.
Mhm.
In Pathfinder you do like 100 or something points of damage,
It's
and that's
crazy.
fine.
Oh.
That's fine. That's a decent amount of damage. It's
Oh wow.
you
So it's
beef
more
up
dangerous.
everything. And Pathfinder is based
It is.
on the 3rd edition of D&D. So they have a lot in common, but there's also quite a bit that's different. They're more like cousins than anything else.
I see.
Hmm.
Interesting.
It's 3. So what we played, like we did a D&D session there, kind of like a one shot, really quick one with
Yeah.
this group of people, well, minus Walter, that was based on 5th edition. So
Love it.
it was very streamlined. Like we were talking advantage to disadvantage, and yeah. So that's probably what we're going to be playing, like 5th edition, when we do get around to doing that.
Yeah, I think we're planning to do D&D games like on a monthly basis.
Oh, you
Yeah.
absolutely should.
And you're invited, so
Really?
you should be there. Yeah, girl, yes, you're invited. We're trying to get
I
everyone.
would,
Yeah.
I would love
Oh,
to
wait.
join.
All
I
right.
was
Was
playing
this
D&D.
not known? Okay.
speaking of
Yay! Surprise! I would love to.
I'm just revealing plans now.
Well, speaking of playing D&D games, Rachel, I just want to ask, especially since I was away when they did play that game, so I'm still a newbie, and it's going to be my first time into it.
Yeah.
Oops.
I just want to ask you, as a very experienced D&D player, what made you choose your character, and like how did you go about that, and or how many characters do you have?
Oh, I have a lot of characters. I have something over 30 characters now.
Oh wow!
Wow.
I go on to D&D Beyond and I'll just make them for fun.
It's like a pastime. You just
it's a
roll
pastime.
characters.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, it's enjoyable.
Yeah.
I made one based on Elton John. Like,
Nice.
I get
Oh my
weird
god.
inspiration just because. Yeah, I have a lot of characters. What made me choose the character I'm
Like your
playing
most
now?
favorite? Yeah, your most
My
favorite,
main
the
one?
one you play the most. Yes.
Yeah, that's probably Moira. Real nerdy. There is a character in Arthurian legend. First of all, I wanted to make her like a vessel for me, so she's, pale and got dark hair and all that. But there's a character in Arthurian legend called the Green Knight that is essentially this like
Sir Gawain,
mythical. Yeah, he's dope. He's
Also
like this,
Dev Patel.
yeah.
No,
right.
he's
Oh,
starring
that's
it.
right.
Yeah, he's starring
Yeah,
it. He's
that's
like
gonna be
going. Yeah.
crazy.
God, I'm so excited for that. I'm
Hyped.
losing
I'm
my
so
mind.
hyped. Yeah, me too.
Oh, it's gonna be so good.
Oh, so good. So good.
So the Green Knight is a figure. It's like a supernatural figure
Mm-hmm.
that goes in and tests all the knights of the Round Table, basically to see if you're worthy to be a knight of the Round Table. And I love the idea of this like supernatural being putting a knight to the test. So I kind of based her off of the idea of that, something really earth-based. So she took something called the Oath of the Ancients, which means that she is very nature-oriented,
Mm-hmm.
and I am too. So I kind of made her like me, and then I gave her like some of my weaknesses and some of my strengths, and then I just amped them up to 1,000%.
Oh,
So
okay.
it's you, but like
Yeah.
super
Yeah.
you.
It's super you.
You on
it's
super
that
steroids.
is-
super me, but
That's the dream.
Yeah.
That's the
Okay.
dream. Yeah.
And I'll have to put that in the back of my mind when I try to choose a character or create a character when we do play.
honestly, it's whatever. I will help you make it. Listen, I love making characters. I've made them based on the weirdest things. I made one based on a beetle. Like,
A
there's a
beetle.
ton you can do.
The
Like a
musician
beetle?
or the-
yeah, or like
No.
a beetle.
No, like an actual beetle.
It's all
Yeah,
Elton
that was
John.
my Pathfinder character. I mean, so here's the thing. The Pathfinder character I made, she's like a really creepy cleric. But she has 5 actual beetles, like jewel beetles. And I named them like Elton, Bowie, Dio, all sorts
Cute.
of things. One of them was
Right.
Ringo, I think. One of them is
Aw.
George. So you can find inspiration anywhere.
Aw.
Nice.
Before we actually do our
So
D&D session,
creative.
I'm planning to have like a 0 session where we all kind of just hash.
We
all
need to
this
just like,
stuff out.
yeah, fuck up before,
Yeah.
so that people
Let me
aren't
help you.
Yeah,
I love
named
I
my
love
You wanna
character
sit in
Jane
on
Snow.
Yes, I can
Very
help
creative.
you. Easy. I love
Yeah.
that.
You
I
can
love
literally do
teaching
whatever
people.
you want. So
Yeah, I think a few of us are writers too. So like we like to create characters, and this would be a really good outlet
Oh, it's
to do that.
yeah,
D&D is
Absolutely.
great for any kind of creative, writers,
Yeah,
actors,
true.
everyone.
Yeah. that's
Have
true.
you DM'd a game before?
Yes, I have.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I DM for some of my friends a couple times a week.
Right.
I had a podcast for a while that just kind of petered out. That was a lot of fun. I DM quite a bit.
So what are you, now that we're like all social distancing, are you using Roll20 or are you like,
Roll20 is a great system. I really like it, mostly because I can see all their rolls because you roll
Right.
through the app. Not that I don't trust them,
right?
but it's easy
But
to.
players fudge dice like DMs do.
sometimes.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I've never fudged dice, thankfully, but
As a player,
as a player, as a
Yeah.
DM, actually.
yeah,
Well,
as a
no,
DM, you
as a DM,
Someone-
I
yeah.
have.
you
avoid-
kinda
Claire
have
says
to-
you're an amazing DM.
Oh,
Yeah.
Spectrum Games says
that's really
that.
nice. Oh, Caitlin, she's really nice. They'll say
That was
anything.
another Caitlin.
She's also Caitlin.
They'll say anything.
I was like, I know, really nice. Yeah.
yeah.
Thanks to everybody in chat. Just want to say hello to Kielich, Light Raya, Guts Heat, Spectrum Games, AT,
Thanks for
A
joining, you
Technicality.
guys.
Thank you, everybody. I know
Yeah, another
Big
Caitlin.
Bad Bry, Bad Idea Bry. Thanks everybody for being in chat. Y'all are amazing.
Woo!
I know these people.
Oh, that's awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah, I've taught a lot of newbies. When I used to work at the Natural History Museum, and I gathered a bunch of the women there. Yeah, in LA.
That's
and
awesome.
A bunch of the women there had never played D&D, and I was like, please let me teach you. And I just got a whole bunch of newbies together and taught them how to play. It's a lot of fun to play with newbies.
Teach me.
Oh my gosh, I would love
Be
to
my
learn from-
sensei.
100%. I will be your sensei.
You started Girls Guts Glory, right? Can you tell us like how that came about, or like, you know, what platform we can view that on? Is it still going on?
Yeah, so we started off, my best friend Erica Fermina, her and her sister, we were all kind of talking, and they were like, hey, what if we just did this for fun? Because they're all actors. All of the people at that table, they're all incredible actors.
Actors.
The actors.
Movable props.
Those people. And they were like, yeah, let's just try it. And a bunch of them had never done it before. So we just got together, started doing it for fun, and then we said, let's do this. Let's film it because we're all actors. Why not? This is our vocation. Let's join these two things together. Something we're doing for fun and what we do because. And
There's something. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, just Wizards saw us and they said, we like what you do. You're a whole group of women playing. You're obviously new and you're not afraid to ask questions, which is also really nice for people to see if they're just getting into it. Because we answer a lot of the questions that they have by doing it the hard way.
Nice.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really great.
Cool.
Totally forgot what I was going to say.
Girls Guts Glory. That's such a
Girls Guts
badass
Glory.
name.
That's
like,
such a good. Yeah.
It's a good group. You can
Would you
find
say
us
that-
on YouTube.
Yep.
We have a podcast. When I had said that we were streaming for the original storyline, we had to stop that because we needed a new studio. We haven't found that new studio yet, so we started a podcast with different characters in the meantime.
Oh.
So who knows what we're doing now?
Would you say that Pathfinder is your favorite system out of all the ones you've played then?
Ooh, I don't know.
It's hard. I know, big question.
That's tough question. I don't think I really have a favorite system. Every system brings something different.
Right.
Like Changeling is different than Tales from the Loop and Weave, and everything has its own strengths and weaknesses. I'm honestly a fan of everything. Anytime I get to game or act, I'm down. I don't care what it is. I love it all.
Absolutely. That's what I was going to say.
Was there a time? I was going to ask.
Sorry, go ahead, Jen.
We're so excited to get our questions.
We're so excited.
Like we're like fighting.
Yeah. I was going to say, can you name a time when you met like a hero of yours, like in this world, in the geeky world, that somebody that you bump into and like you had a good experience with them?
Oh, yes. They're actually my good friend now. It's all the Critical Role people. I met Matt and Marisha and we became good friends. And I met Taliesin Jaffe, who I absolutely adore.
Taliesin Jaffe. He's the voice of Tidus in Final Fantasy X.
Oh, really?
Greatest human alive. They're all such wonderful people. I never told them this, so I hope they don't see this, but I was totally Star Trek the first time I met them, and now I don't know, we go get breakfast and they're friends. They're just really, really wonderful people. There's a lot of wonderful people in this community, but it's definitely that. I met them and I was like, keep your cool, it's fine. They're big time voice actors.
Right.
They're a big deal. They can't go to cons without being completely swarmed by people.
That's awesome.
Especially Matt. I mean, the Overwatch fans are.
Same.
Spectrum Games says Taliesin Jaffe is 700 years old.
Yeah, he is.
And he does,
Is he though?
Oh no, he's the most fascinating person I've ever met in my life.
Whoa.
I love him so much. We'll go get breakfast and he'll say, hey, do you want to go on an adventure? I'm like, yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
He'll take me to parts of LA I've never seen before, like little curio shops, and he'll tell me about his days in Hollywood. He was a child actor and he was in a bunch of movies. He was
Wait, who is this?
Taliesin Jaffe.
Tidus from
There's a movie.
Final Fantasy X.
Oh, so Tidus.
Yeah.
There's a movie, I don't remember what it's called, and I feel so bad because I actually
Mr.
love
Mom?
this movie. Mr. Mom, that's what it is!
Thank you,
Oh,
Jen.
he was the kid in
And
Mr.
he's like-
Mom?
a baby. Yeah, he's a tiny child, and he was in the sequel to Space Odyssey.
Oh, wow.
Wacky stories to tell about Hollywood. It's amazing. He's literally the most fascinating human alive, and I love him dearly.
Literally. Wow.
He does.
I can go
he
on
does
and
laugh
on gushing
IRL.
about people. I love everyone. I love everyone at Geek and Sundry, everyone at Critical Role.
Right.
It's a great community.
They all seem like very cool people.
They're wonderful. I
Yeah.
love them a lot.
Oh
Can I ask you your thoughts? So you do D&D a lot. What do you think about other tabletop games like Warhammer and like as such? I mean, do you play those or do you just not
Continuum.
Warhammer's a little different, but yeah,
Warhammer is
Rachel,
very
yeah.
intense.
Yeah.
I really want to get into it, and a lot of my friends are like, "Yeah, we'll teach you." And then I see the rule book, and I'm like, "Oh, okay, maybe later." I like to
it's
paint
that
the
thick.
minis.
Yeah,
That's
because
about as far as I got.
Warhammer goes like it's pretty deep into like simulator territory.
Yeah,
Mm.
So
it's
it's
heavy
like
strategy.
Yeah.
too. I'm
It's
not the
very
kind of person that can play strategy games really. That's
Yeah.
why in D&D I tend to play things that do a lot of damage because I'm like, spells. I don't
You're
have
just
to
like
worry
smashing
about-
the buttons.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't have to
You
worry
were-
about flanking. I'm a button masher. That's
Right.
why I like Soul Calibur. I'm a
Yeah.
button masher.
Is.
Old
Todd, just kidding. Todd, just kidding.
Are you a min maxer? Is that what you? Oh my god, you're a min maxer.
A little bit. It's
A min maxer is basically our RPG tabletop player who tries to break the game. Finding all the optimizations within the system finding all the exploits basically to do the most damage.
I like doing damage, and that's. I mean,
Yeah.
if you like doing
No,
damage,
that's
you
fine.
like Pathfinder. But
Right.
I tend to try and not make my DM mad.
Right.
But if I see a spell that does like 76 damage, I'm gonna take it.
Yeah, you have
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
have to. We have
That seat is like a button masher min maxer.
to. I had this ranger in Pathfinder that was doing 130 DPS or damage per round
Mhm.
at levels 9, something ridiculous. Because 4 attacks plus like whatever it was back then, Colossus Slayer and other stuff. Yeah. So it was
Pathfinder
insane.
can
Hunter's
get
Mark.
insane.
Yeah.
I love Hunter's Mark. Oh, it's really hard to remember though.
It is. There's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. Even as a cleric, playing my cleric
yeah,
for
yeah.
Pathfinder in my Knights of Everflame show, there's a lot I forgot.
That spell book is like extensive.
It's huge.
Look at all this you have to look forward to, everyone.
It's great.
Dude, this is fascinating. I'm just like, what are you guys talking about? That sounds so cool.
Oh, just wait. In a couple of months,
Yeah.
you're going to be a pro with all of this.
Really?
thing.
Well,
oh, absolutely.
If you say, if my
Absolutely.
sensei says so,
I have faith in
Sending
you.
like
cited, yes.
the player's handbook to everybody. So
That,
Oh my God.
dude,
yeah,
is this?
y'all have homework.
Let's do it.
Oh, let's do it.
Like, I will delve deep into psychological character territory. I will take this fucking seriously.
Yeah, go to D&D Beyond. I will totally help you make a
Wait,
character.
what
and I'm
is
dead
that?
Serious.
D&D Beyond.
It's an
D&D
online,
Beyond.
yeah.
Okay.
It's an online service that Wizards of the Coast puts out where you can create your character online.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
dude.
It's really helpful, and it'll
That's
help you
awesome.
like auto level up. It's amazing.
Oh wow, Caitlin's gonna go method acting on this one.
I will
Do it.
Also, because I want to write fantasy stories
Right.
too, so I
This
want to
will
create
help a
characters.
lot.
Yeah, I
Absolutely.
do. Yeah.
Yeah. If you like improv too, this is the thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Improv's all right.
Earl
It's a bit too lowbrow for me.
I wouldn't. Can you imagine saying that about improv?
I do improv, but Earl tells me it's overrated.
Yeah. just a tip. Yeah.
Oh, God.
Kidding. Earl fronts an
Kidding.
improv troupe.
Yeah.
And he's the
He lo-
voice of Jonah in Tomb
He-
Raider.
In Tomb Raider. Yeah.
Earl loves improv so much
That's
he's
why.
in like 2-3 shows.
He's
Improv.
in too many all at
Yeah.
once. He's just
Sorry.
improving his life.
I know Earl give the
Improvise.
I
improvisers
improv
jobs,
too.
man.
Who doesn't, honestly? The way to go through life. You
Planning
gotta
is overrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rehearsing
Nah.
is overrated.
Improv's
Yeah, totally.
great.
100%.
Yeah.
Play D&D instead. That's what I tell people.
All
So,
right.
Rachel, if you could like pie in the sky, like DM any game set in any world that you would like, that's like totally different from what you've done so far, where would you set it?
Oh,
Or like what kind of world
gosh.
would you put it in?
Well, that's a challenge because I don't know. So for my podcast and for a lot of the games I DM, I've made my own world. I've just filled like notebooks and notebooks full of ton of lore and maps and shit. And that's, not every DM does that. I'm just weird that way. Some do. So I've started to do a lot of the things that I wanted to do because I've just made it. I've done it myself. I like things that don't necessarily, like when you think about dwarves in fantasy, there's a very specific idea that you have, and I like to flip that on its head. I like to see dwarves that are like romantic, Victorian,
and artistic,
Gothic,
and write poetry.
Completely different than what you would expect, because a lot of dwarves are like very robust and deep and cockney and like dirty and all that stone, and I want to see like artists.
A romantic dwarf.
Yeah.
This is bringing me Hobbit flashbacks. Remember?
Oh, they do exist. Yeah. Oh, they do. Yeah.
That terrible sorry. I'm not gonna shit on Hobbit right now, but nevertheless. That's cool.
Yeah. I like to flip things on
necessary. Let's not be dwarfist, right?
Yeah,
right?
Totally.
All dwarves matter.
Yeah, it's not like they pop out of holes.
All mythical creatures matter. Yeah.
Why couldn't Beethoven have been a dwarf? Why not Botticelli? Huh?
Why not?
Why not?
Yeah.
Or a giant.
All
giants matter,
Nova.
right?
Yeah.
Why are orcs always this specific way? Maybe an orc a painter.
Yeah.
Why are they always ugly? There's got to be some handsome orcs and beautiful orcs out there.
Yeah.
Yankee, ASMR, all of them.
You'll find a way. Yeah.
Yeah. Githzerai, come on, everybody matters.
Urbai.
Yeah.
So do you ever? Oh, sorry.
Go ahead.
We're just going to list every single race.
Yeah, I know.
Let's talk about every race.
You matter. But
all creatures matter. Okay.
Yeah. Have you cosplayed your characters before, and how many of them have you?
Behold.
I was going to ask that. Yeah. Like,
so,
do you do cosplay?
I did cosplay once when I was 14. I was Squall.
Oh my god!
FFVIII.
My friends that too. Yeah,
I loved him. And I've started to get back into it recently, but I'm not a seamstress. And I don't want to spend a ton on costumes, even though they're totally worth it. So I'm like slowly crawling my way into the outskirts of the cosplay community. I just did a really short stint on my Twitter called Quarantine Cosplay, where I would like get items from my room. And I actually did a Red Dress Aerith cosplay that I was kind of proud of. I got the like whole bangs all the way up there with just a ton of hairspray. There's so much hairspray in that.
I'm envious. That's a feat. Because she's got like
I did do Moira for like the Ren Fair. Because I
that's what I was going to ask you about that. Have you ever done Ren Fair?
Happen. Where are your pictures?
Oh God, I have a ton. I can spam chat in a minute.
Yeah, I can. You should. We can share them.
Oh gosh.
Somebody just brought this up, and it's kind of sad that because of this whole social distancing, like Ren Fair is not a thing this year.
It's not a thing this year. It's depressing. Yeah. I would be getting drunk right now.
And spending money that you don't need to spend
on
the same things you go to every year. But it's worth it.
Don't worry, everyone's going to go extra next year.
Yeah, straight up like chainmail, right?
Oh God, I want chainmail.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining us. So we have to cut this part of the show. I mean, we have to cut it off right now. But thank you so much for joining us. It's been awesome having you. But you'll join us for a little Final Fantasy chat
afterwards.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So we are moving into the next part of our show, which is we are going to be talking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. Yeah. Jen, so you're the I think you're the sole
Jen talking
host
about it, right?
that has been
because I have nothing to contribute.
So okay, well I'll just briefly introduce it and then I'll talk about it. But like, as we know, the remake recently dropped just a couple of days ago, and it seems the delays were worth the wait because it is gorgeous. Absolutely gorgeous. So many different like story elements that are put in that weren't in the original story that now enhance it. We finally get to see the quality of Advent Children, the movie, but in the actual FF7 game.
Right.
So, and it's much more open world. You get to see like the environment of the Sector 8 slums. I'm still in the beginning right now, like still pretty, new and fresh into it. But yeah, I mean, the original story is about environmentalism. It's kind of like a very Shintoist way of looking at the world. You are born of the life stream and you decay and die into the life stream. And this macho, like huge organization called Shinra has been mining the earth for this life energy, and which is killing the earth. And so like in this, you see like a little gang of vagabonds like trying to protect the world while also picking up people along the way. And Cloud, the notorious main character, is he claims he is former Shinra soldier, hyper militarized soldier from Shinra group, but he is struggling with a lot of identity crises. And you find out later on who his nemesis Sephiroth is and what kind of relationship they have. So anyway, now that I've set that up, have you guys gotten a chance to take a look at promotion materials? Like, how do you feel about it?
No, I'm trying to go cold turkey until I get hands on.
I saw you stream a bit of it.
Yeah,
it looked fantastic.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I mean, I got to play the demo also,
Right.
and I'll probably get it because sometime soon. It looks great. The gameplay was interesting. I mean, it's kind of different, of course, because it's redone, but the controls is something. There's a little learning curve to it, but they have a nice little tutorial in the beginning on how to do it, and I'm sure it's going to get easier, or the difficulty level is going to get harder, but you're going to get used to the new controls.
Right. And like what's great is that the original was a classic JRPG, which is like entirely turn-based, and you had to click through a menu to go like attack, now you hit something, magic, now you cast a spell on something. So like now, even though the technology has advanced, they're still trying to like recall some of that like turn-based logic by introducing like a menu system where you could enter like a Punisher mode or an operator mode, like different forms of fighting, even though like the fighting itself is very like in real time, like kind of Kingdom Heartsy, but then then if you want to catch magical spells, you still have to go into the menu to select it, and then you can cast it. So you do have to be like adept at like button clicking. You can't just keep smashing.
I love to smash.
But you should think a little bit more about it. You know what I mean? And that's the strategy part of JRPGs that I love so much.
What are the limit breaks now? Like now, are they still present?
They're still present. So like some of the limit breaks are now present as ATB purchasable abilities that you can locate at any instant. And then the larger limit breaks like cross slash, you still have to build up over time. And the buildup is actually a much longer gauge than it usually would be if you were in turn-based, because the play time actually drags on for pretty long. Like fights drag on for a long time. I think because like you get the gratification of like just slashing and slashing at things. So even like regular fights feel like boss battles.
Yeah, I mean, because even I found it interesting how even the distance and like how far your enemy goes, it's like, you can't just slash, and then you're gonna have to switch to your to the gun or to whoever can do a range attack and stuff like that, and then or you'll have to use your magic if you because Cloud can't slash an enemy that's up against the wall in the distance. That was interesting, and just being able to switch characters, and it's like create your own teamwork within. It's like, I mean, it's only you playing, but you kind of really do the team-based thing by switching out characters.
So explain this to me. This is just the first episode, right?
I believe so.
Yeah, so I was seeing a lot of comments. Also, people were like, "This sucks. It's why can I only?" But then I guess people didn't know that it's a season, kind of like how Call of Duty is like doing season 1, season 2, but they're expanding the story slowly. They're gonna
kind of like the Telltale games.
It's gonna be downloadable content. Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay.
So the story unfolds.
Right.
I can't wait.
It's just going to be a lot of overnight downloading.
Overnight downloading. Oh my gosh.
Copies sent out as like 2 discs.
I'm not
Is it just
sure,
one
actually.
One big disc? Because you did a digital download, right? Or
I did a digital download. Yeah, I bought the day of.
You're a real fan. Day of.
I still prefer physical media just to have it, for things that I enjoy a lot.
But for right now, though, you hard pressed, you'll get delays.
It's hard. It's hard.
But Rachel, did you want to say some history that you have with Final Fantasy?
Yes. Oh, I have so many Final Fantasy.
She's got
opinions.
history.
I do. So I don't
Me
know if you
too.
guys remember this, but back during the days of PlayStation Magazine, really, they used to send
Right.
out demo discs.
Demos, yeah.
Yeah. So I had my PlayStation 2. It was brand new at the time. And I would just pop in discs over and over and over. And there was one disc I played until it was just worn down to a paper thin line. And it had the demo for FF8. And from
Okay.
there,
Right,
I played through all of FF8 insanely. I went through FF9 and then I went back to FF7.
Nice.
Final Fantasy has been one of those big, it's like Final Fantasy, Kingdom Hearts, Legend of Zelda. Those were my big three. I went
Sorry.
through those.
Yeah.
You said Legend of Zelda, and
I can talk circles about Legend of Zelda. Go through all of the big things.
Right.
So Final Fantasy has been super deeply ingrained in my upbringing. I spent a lot of time in FF10 and watching
That was
how
my first FF, actually.
FF10 is so good.
I
and
love
honestly,
the sphere system so much. Honestly.
I love the sphere system. FF10
I
too.
love the Sphere Grid. Thank you, guys.
A lot of
That
people
was so validating. That was so validating. There's some people who like say that they hate the Sphere
no.
Grid, and I'm like, what's wrong with
I
you?
min-maxed the shit out of it.
The,
Did I tell you what I did? I'll tell you what I did later.
Oh my god, min-maxed. But the new remake game for 7 actually has something that kind of mimics that Sphere Grid thing.
Oh, really?
Also kind of looking like the Mass Effect thing, because it's like in a universe, and you also branch out, and you have to, it's really like the Sphere Grid. Which is
Ooh, I
amazing.
love that.
Oh, I can't wait.
Yeah.
I want to get my hands on that remake so
Oh
bad.
no, same here. I'm about to sell organs to get the PS4.
Same. Hard same. I still have my
Anyway.
PS2.
Oh,
I'm
wish.
old school gaming.
yeah, I love
Yeah,
it.
I need to figure out what to do with my old systems.
Yeah, same here. I have a Sega Master System sitting here, and it's just like what is-
Sega?
Oh,
Yeah,
you'll pry
Sega
my
Master
N64
Oh,
from my cold dead fingers.
fuck,
I'm getting
yeah.
that
Yeah,
very
same
much.
here.
I
have
love
my
my
Super Nintendo.
N64.
Yeah.
I still play it all the time.
Well, anyway, thank you so much, Rachel, for joining us. We are going to start talking about Castlevania, and I know you're not caught up, so I don't want to.
Not caught up. I haven't heard all the
Yeah.
spoilers yet.
How far in are you?
Yeah.
I haven't gotten into season 2 at all. I haven't.
Oh, okay. So you've seen the
Okay.
first season,
Yeah.
like the
Yes,
first 4
absolutely.
episodes. Okay.
Yeah.
So they do introduce more characters
Yeah.
in the
Yeah.
second season.
There's a lot.
Yeah.
There's
I'm
a-
also
there's
familiar
some-
with the games. I've played a bunch of them, but
Oh,
Okay,
then you'll probably
so-
know a lot of them. Yeah.
Right. But we'll see you in a few minutes after. We'll join us for a game right afterwards.
absolutely. I'll still be
Awesome.
here.
Thank you so much. See you in a little bit.
Yeah.
Thanks for having me.
Right.
I'll be back.
Thank you.
All right, see you later.
Right, thanks, Rachel. So from
So-
henceforth, spoilers all.
Spoilers for
Deep spoilers.
Yes,
for
the internet
Castlevania.
is dark and full
of
of spoilers. So beware.
Yeah.
Beware, y'all.
Castlevania Season 3, Episodes 1 and 2. That's what we're going to be focusing on for the next few minutes. What is everybody's kind of overall impression so far of the season?
Caitlin, you want to go first?
Yes, she does.
Who, me? Well, I don't know. I think it's been a while since I've been this excited to review a show on our show. It's just like, I didn't even know that we were going to have the good fortune to review this show. I just started watching it with Earl recently, and then Jen joined along, and now we're covering it on Pangeekery, so I'm super stoked. My first impressions about the whole the whole show in general, or just season 3?
Both.
The first 2 episodes, even if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, because I know not everyone is caught up. The first 2 episodes kind of sets the tone for where everything is right now, and because season 2 ended very conclusively, like it just didn't feel like there was much story to go off of afterwards. It's clear to me that the showrunner is kind of like, okay, we're really going to delve into lore here, and just the kind of background of not just like vampire myths, but also the themes that they've been trying to dig throughout the duration of the show, which is the nature of evil, the nature of humanity, and where the two interplay with one another in this world we live in. And so I noticed that the themes are getting more complex and more interesting, and the character motivations like that of Hector and Isaac and Who else?
Hector, Isaac,
Carmilla.
Godbrand,
Godbrand's dead.
like,
Carmilla was
Striga, and all of them.
Yeah, the vampire
sisters.
It's very interesting. And Saint Germain, he just kind of made an appearance, and you could tell Mr. Bill Nye is on the scene.
I guess I'll just like kind of sum up the whole of the arcs of the season so far. So like the first season, we get introduced to Count Dracula, right? Who is the leader of all the vampires.
Yes.
And he gets set as the main antagonist after he decides to kill the entire human race because the human race murdered his human wife. And then, so in the second season, Alucard, who is Dracula's son, teams up with Trevor Belmont, the last of the House of Belmont, the monster slayers, as well as Sypha, a speaker magician, to bring him down, and they succeed. So in season 3, we're left with the remnants of Dracula's court, which are Hector is imprisoned by Carmilla, who is one of the vampires who revolted against Dracula. Carmilla actually has similar plans to Vlad, Dracula himself, but she's executing them differently, and you could see a lot of the wily ways that female vampires work as opposed to male vampires in their thirst for power. And as far as like Trevor and Sypha go, they're like romantically linked now, but as they try to be heroes in various towns, I think this whole season was showing that there's like definitely inherent flaws in humanity, and I think our heroes are kind of like losing their faith in humanity somewhat, which makes for an interesting setup for season 4 if and when they bring back Dracula from hell.
Is that
spoil?
Never.
Oh shit!
You said a few things where I was like,
"Oh no, I'm sorry."
Far too far.
It's okay.
Episodes 1 and 2.
There's spoilers, but not that.
My bad. Oh man! Oh god! Oh god!
Like,
oh god!
I mean, spoilers, but only for episodes 1 and 2. Yeah.
Okay. My bad. I will stop talking.
It's okay.
I thought I was being comprehensive.
No. It's okay. It's okay.
Comprehensive.
Well,
just be wary.
That's Walter, because Walter.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm sorry, Walter.
Walter's like, what?
Oh no, I watched it. Like,
I was finished.
No, not quite.
Oh.
Yeah,
I mean, but
we finished the season.
Oh, okay. No, but I figured that's what they were gonna do because that's who they're talking about.
You're
Was
smart.
like, no, because like the first time they're all looking for Dracula and they're like in the monastery. I'm like, these dudes are up to something, and they're gonna like I can put two and two together. Like,
I'm gonna look up really quick like where it ends because I'm like a little foggy as to
I was getting kind of worried too because I didn't want to.
Yeah, because I was gonna say that I can't remember if the pirates or them leaving on a ship was episode 2 or 3. So
that's episode 3. They leave at the end of episode 2.
Okay,
but
because in episode on episode 3 I really like that exchange between Isaac.
So you saw that episode?
Yeah.
Well, then we might as well talk about the first 3 episodes because we've all seen the first 3 episodes, right?
Yeah.
Do you talk about what that scene? I think a big fan favorite from this season is this scene where Isaac is talking to the sea captain.
That's so good.
In the belly of
the
ship.
Yeah, that was a great conversation.
That was, I watched it twice because I was Netflix partying with Earl and Jen, and they weren't watching the right episode. We were watching different episodes. So I had to watch it again. Yeah.
You're like, what are you talking about?
I ended it, and they're like, why did you end it, Kayla? I'm like, because the episode's over. And they were like, no, it's not. It took us so long to figure out what had happened. But so I just love that scene because it's showing the complexity of Isaac's character. Isaac is this guy who's turned his back on humanity because humanity was never there for them. So he doesn't believe in the inherent goodness of man, right?
Mm-hmm.
But so he has this vengeful kind of plan for the rest of humanity. But the sea captain, who's a bit more of like a neutral type of guy, right? Like a true neutral kind of character. He's trying to show him like, it's true. Some people should be punished. Yeah, it feels good to get revenge. But if you kill everyone, then there's no opportunity to experience human kindness. Like the guy who gave him the mirror, right? And I just love that. Like, that's really good storytelling, I feel.
Yeah.
I really feel like at the end of, because you, like you said, it was very conclusive at the end of season 2. Like people are, we had very definite ends to everybody's like at least mini arcs. And I sat there and I was like, where are they going to go with this? At least with the first 3 episodes. And I knew intellectually that they had to create more characters or like they had to expand upon like other storylines, but I feel like they did it so well. I don't know, and everything felt organic. It's getting super interesting with just like when they're starting to talk like about metaphysical stuff, and that's like really, really, I don't know. I think it's super cool.
Yeah, I'm excited for you, Walter, because there's some crazy shit. There's some
crazy
shit that's gonna happen. Yeah.
Action scenes that happen.
I mean, like Isaac's like his evolution of character, how that's gonna come out, and then like even Camilla's strategy to have her large farm,
farm basically,
empire,
and then her what's the diplomat sister's name?
Lenore.
You know, even Lenore and her mind games, and I did like the fact that she's like in the episode 2, she was like, I'm the diplomat, and just you know, people mistake my kindness for weakness, you know, which is it's very true. So the writing's great, I think, in the way, you know, whether it's making jokes about isolation that we're kind of connecting to now,
which is so weird.
They wrote it. Oh my god!
They wrote it way before that.
They've inherited the torch from Simpsons, just you know, foretelling things.
Yeah.
What the fuck is toilet paper?
What?
I don't know anymore. I haven't seen it in so long.
That's a later episode.
Later on.
Oh shit! Damn it!
Spoiler.
Yeah, I'm doing it too.
I know it's hard. I mean, when you sit there and you watch the entire thing,
it's hard to remember.
Yeah, when you binge.
I mean, can we just talk about the voice acting too?
Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. Yeah, I was gonna bring that up. What do you guys think?
Going back to the ship captain, like I love it. I love his Caribbean. I'm gonna say Jamaican, but just Caribbean accent.
Not all of Caribbean nations is Jamaica.
But all pirates are Jamaican. No, just kidding.
It's like he reminds me of Salvador San from Game of Thrones. You know,
totally. Yeah, absolutely.
I was like, is this Salvador San? Like, it sounds like him. I don't know.
I didn't look up the.
I didn't look up the voice actor. But I swear to God, King Robert is in this freaking show. The guy who plays Robert in Game of that's Jason Isaac.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
The guy who plays the monk with the scar over his face.
Oh, the head monk. Yeah.
Yeah. He's like has got a scar. I was like, I forget the actor's name. Yeah, I was like, this sounds like King Robert from Game of Thrones.
Mark Edwards or something like that.
No, Mark something. I forget his name. But he's in A Knight's Tale.
Yes.
And there's a lot of celebrities in this cast now. There's
I mean, if you're gonna have Bill Nighy, you're gonna have another whole
Jessica Finley Brown, Theo James, the guy from Divergent.
Mark Addy. Yeah.
Mark Addy. There you go. I don't know if it was him. It sounded.
Oh my gosh.
But also
everybody's so well cast. I'm just like, whoa.
And it's still, Thorin Oakenshield.
As Trevor.
Richard Armitage as Trevor.
I was shook when I found out the actress who plays Sypha, that's not her real accent.
Yeah.
This whole time I thought she was some chick from some Latin American country. No, she sounds like she's from LA.
She's Mexican American though.
Yeah, so she probably that makes sense. But
Fred Fraser just said Lance Redrick from Fringe and The Wire is the voice actor for Sea Captain.
Well,
I have not seen either of those actually. I know sacrilege, The Wire, right? I haven't seen.
Well, I mean, The Wire.
I haven't seen The Wire either. Yeah.
But that makes sense then. Like his voice and the accent was great, and just going back to what we were talking about, like the hate and like the naivete of Isaac and like all his one track of like view of humanity versus the captain, who's this worldly captain who's seen. I'm sure he's seen it all. The 7 seas and he's the aspect. He's been the bad man he's talking about. It's great that he's like giving mentorship to this Isaac who's just been. He was a slave to Dracula his whole life, really, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for at least his adult life, it seems.
Yeah. Well, he chose to go with Dracula.
That's right.
It's interesting that, like, of all people, like this whole like set of story, like without revealing spoilers from the latter half of the episode of the seasons, but like it's interesting that the arc of Castlevania is like highlighting the evils in the world and why everybody like is drawn to evil.
Yeah. Yeah.
This like season in particular is trying to show Isaac, who has like zero faith in humanity, like the possibilities under which like good can occur.
Right.
It really does feel as if like good is like a fragile flame inside huge darkness, you know.
Do you think that Isaac is gonna turn towards more compassion and understanding, and then maybe Hector is gonna go more towards being like more cold-blooded, because he's very naive,
right?
And he keeps getting, you know, he's like the Theon Greyjoy of this season, right? He's turning into Reek. Spoilers.
Right.
Well, not really, but yeah. All right, I'll stop now.
So you can't go any further.
I'll stop.
A technicality, Hector is turning toward Heck. That makes sense. I like that.
Hector.
Hector.
Oh,
Hector.
Man.
Yeah, it's a lot of fun, and I think I kind of miss Godbrand. I'm just kidding.
No, he's a fan favorite though. That guy was so annoying.
If we want to talk about like references to the game though, Godbrand was never in the game, right?
Oh, he wasn't?
I don't think so.
Never in the game. But
Hector,
Hector and Isaac was definitely in there.
What do you guys think of that?
Even was
that Alucard storyline?
Oh,
wait, we can talk about it, can't we?
Well, we can talk about
Alucard.
The Inklings, because like they started that, didn't they?
Well, it's just, to me, I know we were talking about how it feels like they didn't really know what to do with Alucard's character. So they introduced Sumi and Taka, the Japanese siblings.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's just...
I was like, oh, cool. They're diversifying the cast with
Asians.
It's just so weird that like, how did you guys learn to speak English? You know, and then like when they talk to each other privately, it's in English, and I'm like,
Oh, wait a second.
They just came from Japan and they know English.
They're like, when we're talking about amongst ourselves, we're
gonna talk in English. Yeah, I thought
maybe they're like, this might be rude to Alucard.
No, you'll see later scenes. They're by themselves and they're talking in English.
I'm gonna try not to spoil anything.
Yeah, we can't.
Okay.
I just don't want to go down that hole.
It would actually be cool if Alucard was like started speaking Japanese to them.
That would have been cool.
I mean, I do listen to the Japanese dub, so
he's probably
got a great voice. Yeah,
learned many languages.
He's got to know other languages.
I can imagine.
Oh
hundreds of years. But when we first see that that storyline with the brother and sister and Alucard, I was just like, that was the one storyline that kind of made me feel like I don't know what's going to happen here, and I'm not sure if it's going to be something that I'm going to be on board with.
We'll see.
Yeah, we'll see though.
We'll see.
Yeah.
I'm just saying that was the one that like perked my ears up. I was like,
whenever I see new characters like that, I mean, like it's cool, like, or is it just merchandising opportunities?
Yeah, I mean, I was telling Jen and Earl this. Like, I feel like our main protagonists they're not as interesting now as the new characters.
Right.
Like the newer characters have more interesting motivations, and it's almost like they're trying to figure out what to do with Trevor, Sypha, and Alucard.
Yeah.
Because now we care more about the motivations of other characters like Saint Germain.
Because
Isaac,
they are
Hector.
just that like more interesting. They're
just more interesting. Yeah.
Right. Like if we were to condense like Trevor Belmont into like a one sentence, he's the last line.
He's emo and he's drunk, but we haven't really seen why he's like that. We know why, but we haven't seen it.
Intellectually, we know, but like we've never seen that played out on screen. So it's like where for everybody else we have. And
well, in a way, he's technically like achieved his goal, right? Which is kill Dracula.
Exactly.
But see, was that his goal? See,
they don't know where to go.
Yeah. Well, was that his goal?
He was kind of just existing.
Because it's not like he cares about bringing his family back to Belmont.
Exactly. There's nothing to bring back. That's and then, I think they're trying to play the romance angle with Sypha, because you're going to see later he's like talking to him. I think you might have already seen it, right?
Well, yeah, they're already like sleeping in bed together.
Yeah, but like, he's also like, like you meet this pretty girl who gets in your bed and now she's going to get you to care more about other things. But life is just terrible and it sucks and I hate everything. And it's like, is that your character motivation? Like, don't get me wrong. These characters are still cool and I still care about them.
Yeah.
I'm just finding the other characters to have more interesting motivations at this point.
Yeah. And I mean, Sypha's turning into like, she's
a
it's
badass.
like cute. Well, she's a badass, but it's like a cute character. She's like this happy-go-lucky adventurer.
She wants to be an adventurer.
Bright-eyed.
Elnades and Belmont.
Elnades and Belmont.
Yeah. Anyway.
I mean, I don't know. The Vampire Sisters, I'm actually finding interesting.
They are interesting. Yeah.
I think so too. I kind of, well, you know, we don't know if this is going to happen yet, but like if they do, you know, actually go forward with their campaign that they're planning.
That's going to be sick.
Yeah, it's going to be pretty awesome.
I mean, because when she was laying out the plan, I'm like, all right, if I was a vampire,
that's what I would
like. Sounds good. Yeah.
I would call the humans and then put them in
big old pig pen. Yeah, all right.
Oh my gosh.
Sinigang for everyone.
Oh god. Sinigang is a Filipino stew.
Yeah, that's.
Or should I say dinuguan?
Dinuguan, pork blood. Yeah.
Oh man.
There's got to be a lot of that. Can you get vampires from Asia other than Cho? Yeah,
I mean, hopefully.
Well, there was. Oh yeah.
They introduce other monsters.
There's a Near East. Yeah.
It seems as though the show is invested in kind of showing different areas of the globe, which is pretty cool.
I think so. I think they will. Hey,
we're trying to figure out.
Chocolate.
Like Isaac's accent. I was like, sorry guys, I don't want to sound racist, but what is Isaac? Like, not that it matters.
Well, I know he's a Moor.
That's like
Span.
What is he? Is he?
He's Middle East. I got Middle Eastern, like someone from like the South.
I thought maybe like North or West African or even South Asian. I wasn't really sure. Or
his
Caribbean.
accent is definitely West African.
Okay, all right.
And he's from Sierra Leone, the actor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I also think that guy's faking his accent. I was kind of disappointed.
It's real accent.
Yeah, I think he sounds like us too. That's cool. It means they're good actors.
Mason Lieberman, Caitlin, you owe me footage.
Oh shoot, I do. You know, it's because my phone died. I have my footage. I need to give it to you. I'm so sorry. Sorry. This is random information. You guys have no idea what we're talking about. Sorry, Mason. My phone died. I need to give it. Okay. All right. I will get that to you.
He jumped on the stream chat.
He got on the stream.
Yeah, he's like,
Isaac is from Africa. Last I remember.
He's calling my ass out.
We were just wondering where in Africa, because like we're thinking, you know,
Africa's not a country.
Yeah, I know. But we're just trying to localize it more.
I will say I was very excited by the organ pipes.
The organ music,
played in the latter half of the season. Wow, what am I speaking? Because
everything.
like, you know, Bloody Tears is like this
for last season
Dracula, but they play it through the organ and it's just so epic sounding. I love the little video game references that they have, you know, the way that, I mean, this is in season 1, but like the way that Count Dracula appears, he appears in a pillar of light, which is like the same games. The Morning Star whip is the same.
The Morning Star.
A lot of callback, except for Grant, who is like in the games but is not present in the series.
You mean we didn't need a random pirate man?
Yeah, random. Well, we got a random pirate man. But,
we did.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm looking forward to for you know us who have finished it. I'm looking forward to season 4. Walter, I don't know what you think about the rest of the season. If it's something you're looking forward to.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna definitely finish it. I could have binged it if I had the time.
Right.
If you binge
even though we're staying at home,
if you binge it this week, then next week we can finish up talking about it.
Yeah, we can.
We can talk about more spoilers.
All of it.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think
we can talk about Westworld.
Yeah.
Sure.
You mean the summaries that I read online?
Yeah, I know. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. It's been a really cool cast. Thank you to our guest, Rachel. She's off camera right now, but we join us in a few. We are going to jump back on stream after a little break, and we'll set up maybe a Jackbox game. We'll see. We'll figure it out. But thank you, everybody in chat. Mason, Guts. Right now, I'm just going to read the names that I see. That's me. Aaron, Navis, Infernal. A technicality. Thank you so much for being in chat. It's always cool to see you guys. Again, follow us here on Twitch and at all our socials. We're all at Pangeekery. That's PANGEEKERY on Twitch, Instagram, and Twitter, and all that. And come see us here back again every Monday. So next Monday at 8 p.m. here on Twitch, 8 p.m. I said that already, but I want to drive the point home. Thank you, cast. Thank you, crew. And we will see you next week.
Woo! Thanks for
everyone.
joining us. Bye. Bye.
Thank you.
Bye.